Hey, this is the Cookout Podcast, episode 308. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. We're going to continue the arc of the secrets of EDH by talking about Golgari Vampire List. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
We are back. What is going down?
A whole ton is going down. We both had some interesting adventures over the last couple of days / week. We're going to tell you about those. We got some people to thank, some stories to tell. Before we get to any of that stuff, you have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, your source for all your gaming needs.
Yeah, and cool thing happened to you. Cool thing, Brando makes an order, uses CCO Spring promo code and or CCO Perks promo code, perks when you spend over $100 Canadian to get kickback in store credit.
I got a token with my face on it.
Yes, very
That's so cool.
Very, very cool. So like the CCO token packs, they're one of the gifts that we give out for the booster pack game on the pre-show. You watch all the pre-shows, you get entered in when you guess the commander, and you can get them for becoming a patron over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. We'll talk about that in a second. But also, you can now get them for ordering at FusionGamingOnline.com.
I think it's if you use CCO Spring. I think that's the key. I think that's the trick.
That's the key, is using the promo code to get the CCO token.
Yeah, that's right. So you get 5% off shit you're going to buy anyway, and then you get a picture that might look vaguely like me.
Like
or Ryan.
A Brando business card.
That's right. It was really cool. I was very excited. I put it in my wallet. I was showing it to everybody. It was lots of fun.
Oh, man. Brando Business Card Cookout Podcast. BBCCO.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
It sounds like, it's kind of like something dirty if you Google.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but also the British Broadcast Network or the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Channel.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you go to websites like Brando Frequency and type in BB something, you'll get something totally different. But if you go to FusionGamingOnline.com and use the promo codes for all the stuff you're going to buy anyways, you could get some CCO stuff.
All lands I got this time.
Oh, maybe that's the key. You got to buy lands.
I got 3 of the fancy like Nyx art forests with just the forest symbol for my
the Pokemon lands, you mean?
For my AV deck, and then I got some Magic Fest 2019 Islands and Mountains, and an Ancient Tomb that I thought I was getting a great deal on because I thought it was $10, but it turns out I don't read numbers so good, and it wasn't $10. But you know what? I saved money on stuff I was going to buy anyway.
You saved 5%.
And that's the one that the Monarch token came in. I was very excited.
Cool. That's like a cherry on top of your mud pie, I guess.
Exactly.
You spent 10 times more than what you thought.
Yeah.
Well,
but hey,
at least you're going to buy it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I needed one for the deck anyway. And now Norin the Wary has an Ancient Tomb.
Cool.
There
it is.
If you want to see Norin the Wary without an Ancient Tomb,
oh baby, good segue.
Check out June 3rd CCO Sidewalk Slam.
Ooh, that was very guttural and throaty.
It's gonna be fucking good, and I know it's gonna be good because I was there.
Yep.
And it's real good. You can check out our YouTube page where you should be subscribed anyway, so you should have already got the little notification saying that we put it out. You can see a little preview of all the hot game action that's going to be happening.
You're on point today. Yeah, it's
Thanks.
fucking. You did the whole thing already. Wow.
Thanks.
You know what? If you're so on point, you have to remind me to send Joe the Sidewalk Slam graphics.
Okay. We're going to get to the Sidewalk Slam thing, no graphics.
And Joe's going to be like, guys, what the fuck?
God damn it, Brando. That's what's going to say at the bottom of the screen for the whole game.
Yes. Well, speaking of Joe, big thanks to Joe for sending in today's deck.
Oh,
this
segue.
Is Editor Joe's deck. Yeah, I know. We're a segue sandwich. Let's give the commanders a read because I don't really know how to say this guy's name other than the funny joke I made of it, which I'm going to call him henceforth forever.
Okay, so it's Valentine Dean of the Vein.
Valentine Drain the Vein.
He's a 1/1 for 1. The 1 being black. He's got Menace. He's got Lifelink. He's a Vampire Warcock. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls would eat shit, exile it instead. When you do, you may pay 2 generic mana. If you do, you get a 1/1 black and green pest that gains you a life when it dies.
Okay, so whenever a non-token creature dies, we could pay 2. If we do, we get a thing.
Right.
That when it dies, we gain life.
That's right.
Okay, so we want our guys to die.
Nah, other opponents' guys.
Oh, we kill opponents' guys. Then we get guys. Then we want those guys to also die so we gain life.
Hypothetically, yes.
Okay, what's the other side do?
The other side is Lizette, Dean of the Root. She is a 4/4 human druid for green 2. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample till end of turn.
That's pretty good.
I feel like that one might be better.
Whenever we gain life, which we might in this deck,
Who can say?
we put a +1 on each creature.
Each
That's
creature.
pretty good.
And then you can give trample, then super trample, then triple trample. And as we all know, triple trample, way better than regular trample.
Oh, yeah.
It's like horsemanship and flying. It's just totally different.
You can tune into Triple Trample Podcast, TTO.
Yep.
Yes, yes. That's another project that we've got going on.
With Tyan and Tando, it's going to be great.
Oh, yes. Yes, very good. Okay, so here's the thing about this deck. Both the commanders pass a vanilla test, very good. They have power and toughness equal to their converted mana cost. That's excellent. But also, first thing I thought of when I saw this deck list, Golgari Vampire Tribal.
What the hell?
Wasn't that the first thing that you thought of?
That was the second thing I thought of. The first thing was like, oh, Joe sent us a deck. And then it was, oh, God damn it.
Oh, God damn it, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, we got to still thank him because he does a good job.
He's fine. 7 out of 10.
Yeah. So that's the deck we gave, or that's the commander. We gave a little bit of a synopsis. We got some podcasting business.
Oh, okay.
Biznatch. All great stuff that you're going to like to be part of if you're Brando and you hear me, or if you're you and you hear me or see me because you're watching on YouTube, which is where you should be.
Which you definitely should be doing.
Yes.
We're talking about Joe. He does a great job making us look passable. And that's not always easy.
Yes.
Because Ryan was hungover and he just had surgery. I went to karaoke for the very first time in my entire life yesterday. And here we are.
Yes.
Okay, we were partying hard.
I had a tube in my throat, and Brando had his vocal cords were vibrating. Ooh, don't Google that.
No, I didn't sing, but I watched other people sing. And I'm going to...
And it was in the ghetto, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like at the end of the ghetto, like on the other side of the ghetto.
I was definitely worried I was going to get shot.
You were so far into the ghetto that you thought that you were like...
On the way out.
Like in the suburbs again.
Yeah, I thought I was safe, yeah. Wasn't though. I had fun, but man, like alcohol, it turns out, here's a life lesson, CCO life lesson. If you drink enough booze, you will think you can sing, and you still can't. Mm-hmm.
If you drink enough alcohol also... you'll throw up onto the urinal.
Yeah, onto both urinals. There's 2 urinals. They were both puked on. Not in. On.
Did anybody deface any of those urinals prior to the puking with CCO stickers?
No.
Well, you could if you become a Patreon supporter over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. That
was bump set spike. That's Olympic level shit.
That was good. Yeah. So one of the sign up gifts. So if you want that, if that's not enough incentive, we are setting up a little bit of a, I don't know, like a I don't want to call it a stream or a watch party because that sounds like kind of lame. But I would like to premiere the Sidewalk Slam to the patrons first through the Patreon client, but also like set up a Zoom call or like a group hangout or whatever to just talk about the game and just kind of talk trash and shit on each other and like I watched the game a couple times now because I cut down all the footage. The footage of what we thought was going to be like a 14-minute game that ended up being 2 hours. We're going to talk about it on tomorrow's bonus show a little bit more. But
was that game really 2 hours long? It's not going to be 2 hours long on the video.
No. Not going to be 2 hours long. No. But it was tons of fun. One of the benefits is going to be watching it early and let's call it a watch party just because that rolls off the tongue nice. And the CCO nickname. We've actually got a Patreon pledge increase to thank this week. Nice. This is Nathan Weber increased this week. I don't remember what Nathan Weber's nickname was. Maybe he didn't have one.
Nathan Weber.
Because like Weber makes me sound like that's something dirty. Like you
Like, give her the Spider-Man.
Give
them the Spider-Man. There we go.
Yeah.
That's where you don't need to know what the Spider-Man
No,
is. No,
just-
I'm not going to describe. There's some of them I'll describe because they're funny. That one I'm not going to because it's kind of, I think it's a little icky. No kink shaming in the nation,
Nuh-uh.
but I personally think that one's a little icky for me.
Okay, well, Nathan Weber. I don't even think he needs a nickname.
Now that we know that the Spider-Man's a thing, like I guess his whole name is don't Google that. That's pretty cool.
Let's just call him Spider-Man Weber.
Yes.
Yes, Spider-Man
Perfect.
Weber.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, that's one piece of podcasting business. We're going to talk about Sidewalk Slam a little bit more tomorrow because it's a ton of fun and we want to share it, but we can't share it yet because it's not actually ready yet.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Tyler for working on that. Tyler is setting all that up for us.
What a good guy.
Yeah, funny story about that. We'll tell tomorrow.
Ooh, was I there for that one? Do I know this story, or am I going to hear it for the first time?
You were part of it, but you will hear it for the first time because I just heard it for the first time like last night.
Oh, cool.
Okay. We've got some events booked.
Do we?
We do.
Oh, we do, yeah.
We do.
Oh, I bought an airplane ticket, and I was very angry.
Yeah.
I was
angry too, but we were angry for different reasons.
But well, he was angry at me for being angry and then being mad at him. Not at him, but like I'm a little bubble of rage sometimes, and sometimes Ryan's inside the bubble of rage and he kind of gets burned by it too.
I'm the only one in there.
He's very patient with me, but I'm going to tell you, you haven't known pain or rage until you've tried to help me book an airplane. I'm the first to admit it's not pretty.
You haven't known pain and rage until you know what it's like to fly with me because I hate it so much.
But I'm there to level you out because I love it so much.
That doesn't work like that. Well, anyways, where are we going? We're going to Bellevue, Washington. That is like a suburb of Seattle. I'm telling people that, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that there was a Command Fest in Bellevue," because they're so focused like on Vegas and Richmond and like all those ones that are coming up really now that it's literally $1,000 or more for us to fly to. So
unfortunately we have to jump out of Vegas this year. Skip on Vegas this year.
If anybody has an extra like $1,000 kicking around and wants to fly us there, hey, by all means, I'll go. I'll go. But we just, it's not in the cards this year. So Bellevue, we've got CCO Penthouse booked, and let me tell you, it is fantastic. Vaulted ceilings overlooking the side of a mountain, views of Lake Washington.
What?
Yes, it's...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I know. Not very close to the convention center for anybody who's involved, but we do have 3 or 4 vehicles, people willing to drive. And because the house is already full, we've got extra CCO Nationalites scissor sistering to get into the same hotels and stuff so they all can stay in the same places.
Oh, cool.
Which is super cool. Yeah, Mac and his wife are like thinking about staying at the same hotel as Aaron and Amy so they can all
that's awesome.
all be together. Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun.
And he said his wife. She wasn't his wife last time I was talking to him, so maybe they got married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry at the same time. Yeah, so that's one. But we've got one coming up even before that.
What?
This is the Fusion 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Downside is we got to go to Winnipeg.
Yeah, man.
Double downside is we're fucking driving there.
Oh.
But we are going to stay overnight, and I don't want to give anything away or promise anything, but I've been talking to Jim from the Spike Feeders. And
he's going to take us to the arcade at the Forks, and we're going to play pinball and get drunk.
Maybe we'll drop you off there.
See, Ryan didn't know that, but
I was going to say maybe we'll get on stream or maybe we'll play some games with those guys and split some content. Maybe we can get them to drop a couple F-bombs. Maybe they can get us to play some EDH. All of those things sound good.
I have a CDH deck.
Yeah.
Brynman played it against Jesse Spears at our local EDH&M.
Oh, good.
Beat him 3 games in a row.
Oh, good. F that guy. Man, F every Jesse that I've ever played Magic with. Even new Jesse. You know what? F him.
F that guy.
F him.
Yeah.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah. New Jesse, old Jesse, medium Jesse. F ya.
Yeah. So anyways, the Fusion 5K, July 9th. And it's a 5K modern event, but balls all that because they've got EDH side events.
Yeah.
And they want me to come and bring some altered cards and show off some alters and just do the business daddy, business baby thing. Maybe they'll follow you on Twitter.
Man, if they don't. Man, I think what I'm going to do, and I know that they listen to the show, so I hope that they're prepared for this, but I fully intend to go possibly live on our Facebook page while I'm with one of those social media humans and make them follow me live on the internet just to make sure it happens.
And then half an hour later, they're gonna go live on their story, and it's gonna be like
or block, right?
report. Yeah.
But I thought that would be a great way to just shame them into doing it because dunking on them on Twitter hasn't worked and talking about it on the show hasn't worked. So the new plan is when I go to their house and it's either, sock full of sand or I shame them on the internet. It's really a toss up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear they have sand and socks in Winnipeg, so be warned.
Mm-hmm. Most of the socks have holes in the toes, though.
Oh yeah, the sand doesn't stay there very long.
One more piece of business. Last week's giveaway.
Right.
Last week's giveaway we missed the funny name. It was Chris Von Doom's Raffine deck.
Mm-hmm.
Raffine the Creaming Seer. Ugh.
Oh, gross.
Ugh, don't Google that.
No, we missed it we didn't miss it. We just didn't say it on purpose.
Oh. You thought of that.
Probably did.
Oh.
I can't remember that far back.
Anyways, the winner.
I didn't remember we did Raffine.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know who Chris Von Doom is. The winner, you get at us, commandercookout@gmail.com. Claim your booster pack, your CCO sticker pack, or token pack. One of those three things.
Yes.
And I'll do this the whole time.
Good.
Frequency.
You literally just stopped doing the thing. There you go.
Frequency is the name. It'll be on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, which you fucking should be.
Agreed.
Because I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Frequency.
100% that's their real name. I can tell you that right now. That's definitely the real name. Full name, too.
The is the first name. Frequency is the last name.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. So get at us, commandercookout@gmail.com. Honor system. Don't ruin it for everybody.
That's
okay?
right.
We don't want to do that.
I'll be keeping all those booster packs, and we'll be cracking them when we go to Magic Fests.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Which we'll do anyways.
Yeah, we'll probably be
We're
doing that
gonna do
anyway.
Man, we cracked a lot of booster packs in Vegas, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Like 3 boxes,
Yeah.
but like everybody got like 1 pack because there were so many people. Oh, man, there were so many people. Security had to come. There were so many people. Content creators from other channels were like, there's too many people here. Please don't let anybody know I was here. That is the best thing.
Yeah.
That's how everybody knows that CCO at Command Fest and Magic Fest is the fucking place to be.
Yeah, we're the party house, which is pretty cool.
It makes me a little bit nervous because like we're booking this house that's really far away from the event in a residential area. I would hate that we
Burn down the neighborhood.
Well, I would hate that we booked a house and right next door is the actual owner of the house and they're like, oh, here's the keys. There's only like 4 of you, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely 4.
No, it's Canadian 4.
Oh, with the exchange rate?
Yep.
Yes. Yes. And Brando can't even count anyways.
That's right.
I'll just say that he booked it. Paid $10 for a fucking ancient tomb.
Right?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's like ordering a secret lair. It's super easy, and even I can fuck that up. That's fine. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Maybe this is like shipping charges on secret layers, the Airbnb edition.
Yeah, there we go. We got it. We got there.
So have we covered all the business?
I feel like we have. We should probably talk about more. We talked about one card, 2 sides of it. Maybe we should talk about a deck.
Sure. Let's do a deck.
Okay.
All right,
Ryan. So we got Joe gave us very handy-dandy custom categories. We are on tappedout.net, though, for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, in a good long time. And they updated what their buttons look like, but not any of the functionality of the site. So tappedout.net, if you're listening, which you're probably not because you don't care anything about what anybody says about anything to do with your site, you should update it.
Solid. Where should we? Let's start with board wipes. That's what I have open.
Sure.
Because it's easy. There's 2 of them. One of them is Olivia's Wrath, vampire themed.
Hey, there you go. Each non-vampire creature gets -X, where X is the number of vampires you control. And it's 5 mana. That's okay.
That's not too bad.
Because then none of your stuff dies.
Correct.
Your pests will die, but you know what? F them. We'll gain life.
You gain some life.
Yeah.
And then we've got old stalwart, I guess, at this point, the Meat Hook Massacre.
Oh, the old meaty mass. Ooh, a mass of meat. Black X for a legendary enchantment? What? Okay. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature we control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Good, heck 'em. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, we gain 1 life.
It's pretty good.
Hey, I like gaining life. We're gonna cash some of that life gain in.
It's a pretty solid card, actually.
That's a good card.
Maybe,
That's why it's like $50.
yeah, maybe that'll catch on. Hey, people play that.
Oh, I thought it had already. Man, I'm telling you, there's no reason that card needs to be $50. Put that in Commander decks.
They won't.
No, you're right.
They won't.
You're right. Meat Hook Massacre. It's got a name that's tied to an event. Yeah, but not really.
Well, they'll have to do it in the what do you call it? The Secret Lair, and they can call it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be neat. They probably could do that. Hey, I don't think.
Yeah, I wonder what like studio franchise, like is it Universal or Warner Brothers or Marvel, Disney, who the fuck owns like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like what major studio owns the vast majority of those movies?
New Line Cinemas is Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm going to fucking pound you in the head if you actually know the answer to this.
Paramount is Friday the 13th.
Because you can't even remember somebody's fucking name that I tell you to remember. I'm going to suplex you out the window, man.
I can't. I want to so bad. I actually can't think of who owns
lucky.
Texas Chainsaw at this point.
You're lucky because there would have been pain.
It was 2 out of 3, man.
There would have been a Texas Chainsaw fucking pain.
Let's talk about some ramp.
Let's do the ramp, and this will go fast because I think, let's just scroll down a bit. Is it all fairly?
I think it's all just...
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
This is going to be a fucking blaze.
Here we go. Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere, Cultivate, Golgari Signet, Kodama's Reach, Nature's Lore, Pristine Talisman, Rampant Growth, Sky Shroud, Claim Sol Ring, Talisman of Resilience, 3 visits. Boom!
Boom. I would love to highlight all of the 3 mana ramp in that section, including, but not limited to, one of my personal favorite 3-drop mana rocks, Pristine Talisman. Give that fucking piece of crap a read.
Tap, add a colorless mana, gain a life.
Gain a life on a shitty-ass 3-drop mana rock. Man, Dana Roach and Josh Lee Kwai be turning in their graves.
So with that mana rock, and the green side of our commander, we could tap it for a mana and gain a life, and then use the mana that we just got to trigger our commander's ability to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control and give them traps till end of turn.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Man, super cool. That's actually a really good ability.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a really good little synergy right there. You add in some, like, whenever you gain life, you get a dude, you get some omen clocks, you untap that thing, go infinite, boom.
There we go.
You don't even need Vampire Tribal. We'll just play one huge guy.
All right, let's go to the removal section, I guess. We swept, we ramped. Can we remove? No, we can't because the website's broken. There we go.
There we go. Thanks, Tapped Out. You're the greatest.
All right, so we're going to start with Ass Trophy.
Ass in trophy.
Ass in trophy.
Yes, this is an instant for black-green. You know how many of these I own?
Tell me.
0.
Really?
Not a 1.
Wow.
I don't own any of this card.
I have 6.
Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Okay. If its controller may search their library for a basic land card put on the battlefield tapped.
No, it's not tapped.
Oh.
Yeah, it just comes into play.
Just battlefield.
Yep. Kill anything that they got, they get a land.
A basic.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's a very good card.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a Golgari deck anymore.
You probably have a deck that plays green and black.
Green and black at the same time, yes, but not a Golgari deck.
Well, this isn't a Golgari card. It's a good card. A good Gari card. There we go. Next up, we have Death Sprout.
Ooh, I have played this card lots. Man, I go from an actual good removal spell for 2 mana to something that's like, okay, fine.
It's like a passable one for 4 that just destroys a creature and ramps you into a basic land.
It's kind of like the opposite. It's like, I'll get your creature still. That's worth 2 mana.
Sure.
And then I'll get a land for myself worth 2 mana.
There you go.
There we go. That's kind of cool.
Feast of Blood or Feast of Butt.
Or Fist of Butt.
There you go. Man, that makes it sound way more hardcore than it actually is.
Yes. Yes, this is a sorcery for black 1. Cast Fist of Butt only if you control 2 or more vampires. So they can scissor fist each other.
Scissor fisters. and it destroys a creature.
Oh, fuck. You haven't got a good one out of me like that in a long time.
Destroys a creature, gain 4 life. Pretty good.
I like gaining 4 life.
K-Grip.
K-Grip just destroys an artifact or enchantment split second.
Mortality Spear.
Yes. Mortality. I want to say morality spear.
Me too.
It's like I want to throw a spear right through all of ounce of dignity that you have.
Destroys a non-land permanent, costs 2 less if you gain life this turn.
Which we would have.
Yes.
So that would just be like an improved ass-ins trophy.
Now it doesn't kill lands.
Don't care.
I like it kills lands.
Yeah, that's a good card.
And Putrefy.
That just kills a thing.
A thing or another kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Artifact or creature can't be regenerated. We got there.
Hey, tune in. I guess tune in tomorrow to hear. Maybe Putrefy will come up. Hey, we're talking about some stuff tomorrow.
Yippers.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do the toot section.
Yeah, there's demonic tutor in the deck.
Yeah, that's the whole section.
Yep.
We'll move on to player removal.
I think that we
just do this now.
Yeah, let's do it because it's short, and then we'll emphasize all of the things that help us do this.
Yes.
Okay.
We got a Ether Flux Reservoir.
Oh baby! If you would cast a spell, you gain a life for each spell you've cast this turn. So you cast a spell, gain a life. Cast your second spell, gain 2 life. Then gain 3 life. We're probably not going to do that. We'll gain 1 or 2 life per turn off this. Fine, right?
Yep.
But also, pay 50 life, do 50 damage. Ooh, pretty good. You ever Ether Flux Reservoir somebody?
No.
Feels pretty good.
It's the weird, because I own 2 of these, but I don't know where they are.
Oh.
I physically cannot locate them, but I know I have them because I bought them because I figured, I'll probably use one of these eventually.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where they are now. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
Yep. I play it in Zata. It's pretty good.
And we also have a Sanguine Bond.
Whenever we gain life, which we've already established we will, target opponent loses that much life. Now, of note, no exquisite blood in the deck, though it is in the maybe board.
Yes.
So Joe Mama, if he wants to crank it up to 9.
We'll go from 7 to 7.7.
Oh yeah.
Or 7.0, I guess, because every deck's a 7.
Yeah, it goes from 7 to 7 with a blood bond combo in there. Good.
Yeah, there it is.
Good.
Should we do Reason for Green or the Vampires? We're ripping through this deck real fast.
Let's do the reasons for green and just talk a little bit about green's involvement in here. We've already kind of said that the green side of the commander, gain a life, pay a mana, all your dudes get bigger, is probably the better side. And we're talking about gaining life, but we also said it's a vampire tribal deck. And when we talk about the weaknesses of the deck, we're going to highlight some of the same weaknesses that are apparent in lots of aggro decks. And the green section here kind of helps us circumvent that.
Sure.
So that's the reason for green. So let's look at the cards.
We got a Beast Whisperer.
A butt whisperer.
No, it's not blood. It's blood is butt. Beast is just beast.
Breast whisperer.
Yep.
That'll work.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Okay, this guy, really good card.
Yes.
Good card. Green, 2/3, Elf Druid. Whenever you cast a creature, draw a card. Ooh, gotta be careful with that though. Not a me.
We have everybody's favorite Crater Hoof.
Crater Hoof. That's a win con because we are playing an aggro tribal deck. You can imagine a scenario where we have 6 or 7 vampires, 1 opponent left. All our guys get 10-10.
Or 6 or 7 vampires. You have 3 opponents left. And everybody gets 10-10.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. We got a doubling season.
Yes, we mentioned putting +1/+1 counters on guys. And we also mentioned getting their pest tokens, right? Pest tokens.
We're probably going to make other kind of tokens once we get to all the vampire stuff.
Like vampire tokens?
Probably.
Okay.
I'd imagine we're probably going to get to some of that. We got an Essence Warden.
Creature ETBs, any creature, gain a life.
That's right.
Important because gain life, we've already seen the Sanguine Bond, the Ether Flux, and the commander that makes our guys bigger. Mm-hmm. That's 3 win cons already.
It's pretty good. Density.
Making guys bigger and attacking is 1, Ether Flux and Sanguine Bond. Going to be important for the spice calculator. 3 different ways to win.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Growing Rights of Itlamok.
It finds you some creatures, but it flips over into Guy's Cradle.
Let me tell a story about these lands real quick.
Okay.
Because they all flip over into some kind of overpriced reserve list madness, right?
Yeah. Hey, CCO's top 5 in 5 enchantment or lands that we want to have the enchantment treatment on. Remember that one?
Yeah, dude, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
So Remember the Argul's Bloodfast?
Yes.
Remember the one that flips over into a Diamond Valley?
Yes.
When you have 5 life?
Yeah.
Got there. And you know what it did? It kept me in the game for 2 more turns.
Because you can sacrifice a creature and gain life equal to its toughness?
That's right.
Man.
It actually kept me in the game.
Can you imagine playing with such reserve list cards that aren't Magus of the whatever, like Bazaar of Baghdad, Mishra's Factory, Library of Alexandria?
No.
No?
I can't.
No.
No.
No. Well, got to protect the value of those for the vintage players, eh?
Yeah, it's important.
Yay.
Retreat to Kazandu.
Okay, landfall, put a +1 counter on a creature, which is great with your doubling season, and or gain 2 life, in which case you could pay a mana and put a +1 counter on all your guys. That's a good card in this deck.
Very on theme.
Yeah.
On both modes, I like that.
On strategy. On stratagem.
Sure.
It is.
Scavenging Ooze.
Ooh, yeah. Exile target card from a graveyard. Any card. If it was a creature card, put a +1 on Scavenging Ooze and gain a life. Also does the thing that the deck wants to do.
Toski, Bearer of Secrets.
This card's secretly good. This is in a lot of CEDH decks that include green.
Huh.
Did you know that?
No.
Like even I've seen lists of Animar CEDH that play this. If it doesn't get its combo off and it has to play a longer kind of stacksy game, this is a card advantage engine in that deck because it wants to attack.
Huh.
Yeah, 1/1 can't be countered, indestructible. That's why, because it's going to do its job. When it attacks, it attacks each combat if able. Fine, don't care, it's indestructible. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Whenever any creature.
That's pretty good.
And remember the green side of our commander, what's her name again?
Oh,
I'll never remember this.
Lizette, Dean of the Root.
Lizette, Dean of the Root, gives our guy trample. So Toski, with vampires that have +1s and trample on them, is going to gain us a shit ton of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unnatural Growth.
Ooh, this is one that you like.
I love this card.
Give this guy a read.
Green, 1.
Ooh.
Enchantment. At the beginning of each combat, that's everybody's combat, double the P and the T of each creature you control until end of turn.
The P?
The P.
And the T?
And the T.
Of
Both.
each Cree?
Of each C.
Wow.
The P, the T of each C until the end of T. So good.
Yes. And if we're shortening up both, we could say B.
The moral of the story is you make your dudes giant and then beat wholesale ass.
Yes, and you drain their vein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last card in the reason for green section is a Vorinclex Monstrous Raider.
This card is really freaking good.
This card is unreal.
Yeah, so this is 6/6 trample haste for 6. So he's like above rate
Yeah.
already. And then he's got 2 gigantic paragraphs of text. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many.
Yep.
And also, if an opponent would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half that much rounded down.
Yeah.
So if they would put 1, they just put none.
That's right. Their Planeswalker abilities no longer cause their Planeswalkers to go up if it's a +1.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just like, I'll +1 to get the effect. They still get the effect, but no loyalty.
That's right.
You put a +1 on your guy, now you get no +1 on your guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, and I've talked about this before, when we plus our Planeswalkers, it doubles our plus.
Yeah.
Unlike Doubling Season, which doesn't double the plus unless it's when the Planeswalker ETBs.
Correct.
Vorinclex doubles them when they ETB and when they plus.
Yeah.
And Doubling Season only doubles them when they enter.
Yes.
So this is like better than Doubling Season if you're okay with it being a creature. Which I am because it's a trampling hasting 6/6.
Exactly. Yes. You know what I kind of hope
For 1 more mana than fucking Doubling Season. Like what is like?
You know what I really hope when we go back to Phyrexia, because you know we're going to.
Oh yeah.
I would like to see them just reprint these Preators into the set.
Well,
Like with the 3 that they've done so far.
we're just we're gonna get new ones.
We are, but I would like to see them reprint the old ones, both because I think they're all good. They're all kind of chase cards, and it would just be a nice, hey guys, we're gonna reprint these probably fairly expensive cards for you now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because by then, Vorinclex is probably going to be big dollars, and Urabrask will be $5 to $6, and nobody probably cares about that Jinka Taxis because it costs 48 mana to play. But you never know. They could reprint
But
it.
it'll still be expensive because Jinga taxes.
Yeah.
And blue. Yeah, show and tell. And I can play Demir and reanimate it. Anyways, I want to see, and I this is a sentence that I'm going to say. I want to see secret layers with those Praetors in them again that aren't Phyrexian language ones, that have like really funky Phyrexian stylized things. Like I want to see them in Phyrexia.
Well, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, like I just want to, like, they are the bad guys, and everybody loves the Phyrexians. Like they're the bad guy that you love, like Razor Ramon, right?
I don't know, man. I don't like them very much. They're kind of assholes.
Oh, Razor Ramon?
No, the Phyrexians, man. They're kind of dicks.
Well, yeah, they're the bad guy that you can love though, because they're
Okay.
like the endearing, long time. You certainly don't like Urza.
No, Urza's an asshole too.
Yes, and if you've got to be on the side of an asshole or an asshole, pick the smaller, tighter, less smelly asshole.
I suppose.
The Phyrexians.
For the whole plane of things that want to come directly from hell and drag you into it.
Yes.
Pick them.
Yes. Yeah. I want to go there and see what they're about. I want to see their asshole. I want to see their whole ass. I want them to say something bad on Twitter. Show their whole ass. Some Phyrexian tweeting something fucking bad. Anyways.
All right, Ryan. We've talked about everything in this vampire tribal deck except for vampires.
And there's like 29 of them.
So let's delve into it if you think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And
There's no delve cards. That wasn't a hint. That was just what we're doing right now. Anyway,
you know what's funny is the black vampires, which is like all of them except for like one, are the same ones that are going to be in any vampire deck, mostly like
yeah.
the Edgar deck, the mono black deck, the Rakdos vampires, like the black white vampires, right? You're going to see a lot of vampire crossover if you're familiar with vampires. So probably we can go a little bit fast, and I would like to focus on the ones that can gain us life, because we've already demonstrated three ways that's going to lead to us furthering our strategy of trying to win the game.
Deal. Okay, we'll start with Arrogant Outlaw.
Okay, 3/2 for 3. Enters the battlefield if an opponent lost life this turn, so you play it main phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
They lose an additional 2 life and we gain 2 life.
Each opponent loses 2, we gain 2.
Sure.
Butt Researcher.
Oh, yeah, here's the first Golgari one. It's like number 2 in the list. Menace, 2/2 for 3, black-green 1. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Researcher.
Cool art on that card.
Yes.
That is a neat... it doesn't strike me as like an aggro creature looking at the picture,
Nope.
but man, that is cool. I like that.
It's going to get massive because we're going to gain life like almost every single turn of the game.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Butt Bond Vampire.
Oh, yeah, whenever you gain life, put a +1 on it.
Man, I'm super excited with how many times the word blood is in these cards. Butt Thirsty Aerialist.
Oh, yes. Butt thirsty. I remember when this card was previewed and I laughed pretty hard at that. Butt thirsty Aerialist. Whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Callous Butt Mage. I love this.
I think this guy made an appearance in Sidewalk Slam 1.
Did he?
Yes. Man, we can say Sidewalk Slam 1 like they say WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 15. Sidewalk Slam 15.
I'm very excited for that. I never thought of that.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I that's how I name them when I send the files to Tyler. Sidewalk Slam 1 initial cut or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Callous Blood Mage, superstar that appeared in, turn 4 of Sidewalk Slam 1. Did some serious work for Alex. Yeah. Anyways, a 2/1 Vampire Warcock for 3. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. You create a black and green pest, draw a card, lose a life, exile a graveyard.
That's pretty good.
Yes, if you could bounce them, you could do like lots of those things, and all of them are somewhat relevant.
All of them are valuable enough.
Yes.
Captivating Vampire.
Captivating. Other vampires get +1/+1. Tap 5. Gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire in addition to its other types.
Hate that picture.
Yes.
I've always hated that art, and I don't know why. I really don't like it, though.
Yeah.
Defiant Butt Lord.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. That's Sanguine Bond 2.
Yes.
And it happens to be a 4/5 flyer for 700 mana.
Epicure of butt.
I didn't think it was gonna get funny, but it's slowly becoming funny.
I'll get you.
It's slowly becoming funny. There's gonna be one that gets me. This one was almost it. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses that much life. Oh, this is a better Defiant Bloodlord because it only costs 5.
Well, it's loses 1. Each opponent loses 1.
Oh, it's not that much,
Oh, no,
but
if it
it
was-
is each opponent.
Yeah.
So this one cares more about instances of life gain, which is pretty cool.
On every pest.
Yeah, that's a gooder.
Gifted Aetherborn.
Death Touch, Lifelink, 2/3 for 2. That's like Vampire Nightcock's little brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Henrika Domnathi?
Whoa. She's kind of hot.
What? I've never seen this card before.
Black 2, Vampire, flying, 1/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one that has not been chosen. Each player sacrifices a creature, which might be good for us because we gain life.
Sure.
Yep. Draw a card and lose a life.
Sure.
That's always fine. Or you transform her. And today, I was going to say, Henrika Infernal Seer is the other side. A 3/4 flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Pretty good. Pretty good. Black 1, each creature you control with flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink, or Lifelink, gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Neat.
So it's like flying, Death Touch, Lifelink breathing. doesn't roll off the tongue very nice.
No, but
Can we call that like butt breathing? Because it does all the vampire things, flying, Death Touch, Lifelink.
sure.
Butt breathing.
We can say it however
I
we
thought
want.
butt breathing was +0/+1.
That's when you fart.
That's fart breathing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Colitis Trader of Get.
Man,
Brian.
magic's complicated.
It is. It is. There's so many terms.
Cletus, Trader of Get. He's a 3/4 lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, you exile it and get a zombie. And you could play black 2, sacrifice another as vampire or zombie, put 2+1s on Cletus. And he's expensive. This card is good.
It is a very good card.
That's a good card because you get stuff when you kill your opponent's stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great for aggro because, like, if you attack in to try to trade, which is something that doesn't happen very often in Commander unless you're, like, actively trying to get mana dorks or value creatures out of the way, or, like, get a guy then play a Bojuka Bog to exile the guy out of their graveyard, you get something out of it with Cletus because you get a zombie that you can sacrifice.
You get it. Well, you get your blocker back if you trade.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Which
pretty
is-
cool.
It's pretty neat.
That's a good guy.
Camber the Plunderer.
Oh, man, the butt plunderer. He partners with somebody, which we don't care about, I don't think.
Free shuffle. That's
Yeah, I suppose. We might have something that cares about that. He's got lifelink. He's a vampire, of course. 4 mana, 3/4. Whenever a creature dies, gain a life and create a blood token.
a what?
A butt token. And a blood is pay 1, sacrifice it, discard a card, draw a card.
Now keep in mind that it's sack it, pay 1, discard a card, : So if somebody like stifles you, you've been wrecked, and I love that.
Man, stifling anything usually makes you feel like you get wrecked.
Oh yeah.
Right? But you know that I've been dazed in Commander, like hard cast dazed,
Yeah.
right? And you know I've been canceled. I've had my thing counterspelled with a cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Does getting your blood token stifled, does that top that list of bad beats? You've been mana tithed,
Yep.
right? Or memory lapsed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yo.
lapse of certainty, the white one. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think maybe it does.
Or does it just fall into the stifle? Like, oh, I'll stifle your fetch land, get fucking good scrub. Like, does it just fall into the same category?
I think it might.
I think it does.
I think it might.
You know the old trick when you're playing Legacy, right? You accidentally drop a stifle face up that isn't even in your deck list. You drop the stifle and you're like, oh shit, I just put it back into your fucking deck box. You're not even playing blue, and then your opponent's like thinking when they can crack fetch lands because you have a blue open because you have that stifle that you dropped by accident. Oh, man. You never got fucking stifle shuffle dropped?
No.
Man, you don't fucking play the meta, do you? Anyways.
Marauding Blight Priest.
Marauding Blight Priest. I can't even say it. It's whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Those are good in this deck, I think.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, tap that old pristine talisman, and turns into a fucking lightning bolt.
That's right.
All right.
Nightcock Scavenger.
Oh, yeah. A 1+*3. Man, now I got to know how to do algebra to play Magic? What the fuck? Okay, flying, death touch, lifelink, vampire rogue. Power equal to 1 plus the number of card types among your opponent's graveyards. This is Tarmogoyf Nighthawk.
Neat.
Yep.
I like that.
Good card,
Yes.
but algebra.
Null
So,
Priest of Oblivion.
kicker 3 and black.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Menace, lifelink, 2/1 for 2, kicker 3 black. Enters the battlefield. If it was kicked, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ooh, that's like a better rate than Zombify.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Oathsworn Vampire.
Enters the battlefield tapped. That's sucky. You can cast it from your graveyard if you gained life this turn.
Cool.
Yeah. It gives us some aggro deck reach, let's call it.
Sadistic Sky Marcher.
Flying lifelink 2/2. Additional cost. You reveal a vampire card from your hand or pay 1. We know, our opponents know that we're playing aggro. They know we got more vampires. We'll probably just reveal the worst one and say, it's coming. Yeah, that's it.
Sanctum Seeker.
Whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses a life and you gain 1 life.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Swing with like 10 guys.
Yeah.
You guys all take 10 and I gain 1.
Yeah. And then combat damage happens.
Yes.
That's
Never mind Crater Hoof.
Yeah, don't even need
Is
it.
this win condition 4? Can we call it that? You think it's that good?
Nah, that's just it's attacking with dudes.
That's like, yeah,
Attacking
giving
with
your
dudes
guys
is
plus
attack with dudes,
whatever. Yeah.
Scion of the Swarm.
Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on it. That's cool because that's a vampire that does that.
It looks like a bug. It's this little claw thing. Whatever. Tenured Dink Caster.
Ah, I thought you would go there. A 2/2 for 5. That sucks. When Tenured Dink Caster does not pass the vanilla test. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You could target itself. So it's a 3/3 for 5. Still sucky. When a creature you control with a +1 counter on it attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, that works with the Dean of the Root thing.
Yes,
Because all our guys got +1s on them.
correct.
And then it turns into that Sanctum Seeker 2.
Seeker. Ooh.
Yeah, Sanctum
Sanctum
Tuker.
Seeker 2, Hyper Sanctum Seeker. That was
Hyper
nice.
Seeker.
Hyper Seeker. I like that.
I like Sanctum Tuker.
Check this out. Thirsty Buttlord.
It's a 3/3. Other vamps you control get +1/+1.
Easy enough. Twilight Prophet.
Oh, that's a good one. 2/4. This is an expensive one. $230 for this.
Shit.
Yeah. And tapped out. Come on. Like, give me a higher res image. I can't even read this. You read this.
It's a 2/4 flyer for black 2. It has Ascend, so if you have 10 or more permanents, get the City's Blessing, it'll do something. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the mana cost of the card you revealed. Boom.
We gain X.
Gain X.
Cool.
Everybody loses X.
And we draw that card.
That's right.
That's like all of the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
It's too bad all our vampires cost like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like the next card, which I have played in a commander deck.
Vampire Cutthroat?
Say it right. Vampire Buttthroat. There it is. Vampire Buttthroat is a 1/1 for black. It's got Skulk.
Sure.
Sure. It means it can't be blocked by creatures that are bigger than it. So you're getting in for 1. And it's got lifelink.
Sure. Vampire Nightcock.
Yep. It's flying, death touch, lifelink, 3-drop, 2/3. Best card in Zendikar Limited.
Vampire Scrivener.
Scrivener.
Sure.
Scrivener? Sure.
Yeah.
2/2 for 5, flying. Whenever you gain life during your turn, you put a +1 counter on it. Whenever you lose life during your turn, put a +1 counter on Vampire Scrivener. Oh, so if we gain life or lose life, it gets bigger.
Neat.
That's pretty fine.
Vampire of the Dire Moon.
Death Touch, lifelink, 1/1 for 1. That's pretty good.
Vein Witch Coven.
Vein Witch Coven. Again with the veins, hey?
Yeah.
Man. Veiny Warcock. 3/3 Menace for 3. Whenever you gain life, you can pay black. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
It's pretty good.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Gives us some of that aggro reach.
Yep.
Very important.
Vengeant Vampire.
4/4 for 6. Wow.
Wowee.
Yeah, lifelink. So that's okay. That's worth a mana. When it dies, destroy target creature and opponent controls and gain 4 life.
It's not too bad.
Which we could pay 1 and make all our guys bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we sacrifice him to something and then make our guys bigger, then we can attack and we could kill somebody.
Correct.
Okay.
Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose.
Is this the last card in the deck?
Sure is.
Other than the land?
That's right.
Okay. 1/3 Vampire Cleric for black 2. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Sanguine Bond,
3.
17 at this point.
Yeah.
If we're attacking and stuff. And we can go black, 3. Creatures you control gain life, link, and until end of turn.
Yes.
So we would gain a bunch of life, and then they would lose all of that bunch of life.
Yeah, somebody would lose several life.
Yes. Can we count all of these vetoes and creatures that make our opponents lose mass chunks of life? Could we count those all collectively as another 1 win condition?
Yeah, it goes
because
in.
we're going to be attacking, and we're going to be doing this extra thing when we attack.
Well, you'd add them in with the Sanguine Bond.
Oh, so just keep it at 3 different win cons?
Yeah, if you play 10 different Sanguine Bonds, you're playing Sanguine Bond.
I suppose you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like just more density of that same type of, that same strategy that we're trying to enact.
That's what we call redundancy.
Yes. Yes.
In most avenues of life and or business.
Okay, so let's get through some of these, some of the rest of what we usually cover. We got some strengths and weaknesses.
Uh-huh.
Non-typical vampire build.
Cool.
Strength.
Yes.
You're using what we touted as kind of non-good, maybe underpowered commanders from Strixhaven, and you're doing something unique with them.
Yes, and you can say that they're not good, because they're not. But
Sure.
you get to use, I don't know, the green one's pretty good, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yes. Now, get this. Still beats with the rest of the vampire decks and or green inclusive aggro decks.
Yes.
I think we're going to gain enough life with our 4-drop commander in play and have enough mana to make all of our vampires fucking huge.
You're going to have a good time against other aggro decks, because as you're just swinging haymakers at each other, yours is the life total that's going either up outright or down the slowest, which is good.
Yes, and both of those things will allow us to enact our strategy. If it goes up, we can Ether Flux. If it's going down the slowest, that means we are gaining life probably, so the Sanguine Bond type effects are going to be really good.
Yes.
And in addition to that, being an aggro deck, it is going to be hard to block. It's going to be quick. And if there is a better aggro deck, we are still going to be able to block because we have lots of flyers.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got good blocks. Okay. Ether Flux Reservoir, Golgari for the win. I'm going to count that as a strength because typically you see this like in Izzet decks or Storm decks or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to flip it over to a weakness because some people don't like playing against Ether Flux or other instant win cards.
Yeah, it is kind of it disincentivizes people to play the game. It's like when you search for a Cyclonic Rift and then you just sit there with 7 mana open for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because like nobody can do anything.
Yes. Yeah, and the same is probably true for Crater Hoof. And if you were to put Exquisite Blood into the deck, the same would also be true there.
I would count, I think Ether Flux is a special case more than, because Crater Hoof comes down, you win the game. Ether Flux doesn't necessarily make you win. It just sits there and makes it so nobody else can win. The first guy to try to win loses.
I get you.
So nobody tries to win. Nobody tries to kill you. Nobody tries to do anything.
Unless the player can't cast it, or that player in the life gain deck is maybe at like 25 life or 30 life, and then trying to gain, and then the other 3 players are just getting chip-ins to keep the life total in check, right?
Yeah, but once you're above 50, like it's not over, but you can't win, and I can't win, and player 3 can't win because player 4 has an Ether Flux Reservoir and 50 life, and nobody's going to take that away from them because they'll just Ether Flux you.
Yeah, that's a hard position to be in.
Yeah, it's a shitty position to be in, and I don't like that. creates that.
Yeah, if you're playing this deck blind, it's Golgari Vampire's life gain. Hey, that's cute and fun. Hey, that's like, let's just play the game. You're playing with strangers, and then they drop an Ether Flux. That's the situation you're talking about. If our friend group was playing this and we know there's an Ether Flux in there, you try to keep that life total down below anything even fucking close, right?
Exactly.
And then that's like some of the dialogue that the game generates is, I know you have that, so I'm going to try to fight that strategy.
Yes.
I think that that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that that's cool. That's why I put Ether Flux Golgari as a strength, but pointed also to the weakness to acknowledge what you were saying.
Yeah.
So not a ton of top end.
No.
A little bit weak to removal.
Yeah, we were talking about how is it going to stand against an air quotes better aggro deck. Early on, you're going to see this deck is going to be able to hang in there real good.
Oh, get lots of chip-ins.
But if it doesn't win that kind of early, if it doesn't win in the first 5 rounds, when you get to the later end, your dragons and your goblins and your other just better aggro tribes
and value strategies, controls.
Yeah, they don't give a shit that you have 500 life because they're going to hit you for 10,000 damage. That's like just how other aggro decks in EDH work.
Or they're going to sweep you and then you're going to rebuild and another player's going to sweep you and there's not really any way in the deck to draw 17 cards all at once.
Yeah.
And then you'll just not have a whole ton of action late game. The other decks can do their thing independent of whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah, when somebody blows you out, you're basically playing mono white.
Yes. Now
and nobody wants to play mono white.
That is common to a lot of low to the ground aggro decks. Mm-hmm. And that brings us to this week's secret.
Oh, shit.
This weekret. Huh? Week secret?
No.
No. This week's secret. I'll say it as 2 separate words. Fine. Let's do everything you want to do. The secret. And Joe Mama told us this right in his email to us.
Yep.
It's okay to have and acknowledge weaknesses in your deck. Mm-hmm. It's okay to know that your aggro deck is weak to sweepers and play the deck anyways. Mm-hmm. And that will avoid us having to spend the money on cards that might F the budget and all of the stuff that makes all black decks the same with the mass graveyard getter backers.
Yeah.
That takes away from the uniqueness of the deck because we're trying to shore up a weakness. Let's just acknowledge that weakness and play with that weakness or play around that weakness.
Or just fuck it.
Play right through it.
Yeah, who cares?
Fuck it.
Yeah, just do that too.
Yeah, I'm going to pound your face with Golgari Vampires until you stop me, until you can exploit my weakness. And if you do that, I just won't win this game.
Yeah.
You think that's a good secret?
I think that's fine.
I think it's fine.
I build decks like that all the time.
You play around it or you just plow right through it.
And you know what I can't kill in virtually any of my decks? Flying creatures.
Yeah.
Man, they're the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
It's like, bullets, my only weakness. It's like, no, creatures that fly, I just can't stop them.
Yes, with bullets.
Yeah, I have no bullets.
Remember when I used to play Hogak all the time and I said, like, yeah, I'm weak to graveyard removal. I'll just graveyard harder. Aggro decks, weak to sweepers. You know what? Just aggro harder.
I'll just aggro you harder.
I'll just aggro harder, and if you got the sweeper, it's a little bit higher risk, higher reward, but
feels so much better.
Take it from us. That's a fun way to play casual Magic.
And when your butthole's clenched and you're sweating.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, when you got like those like weird hard sweat stains on your shirt because you're sweating so much. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, like that guy I used to work with that took roids in college because he was a ball player and now has only his one armpit sweat.
Exactly like that. That's
weird.
Precisely like that.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I got a quick budget section. Here. $570 deck.
That's fine.
And you know what? D-Toots, $40. Crater Hoof, $31. There's a Verdant Catacombs in here, only $20.
Yeah.
But you know what? 2-color deck, do we need it? I don't know. Doubling Season, it's great. Meat Hook Massacre, great.
Yeah.
But I highlighted these cards because they're both expensive, and I think probably we can find some suitable analog for them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Overrun, Overwhelming Stampede, something like that instead of Crater Hoof.
Beastmaster Ascension.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Kamal is expensive now, but there's lots of things that just... Second Sunrise would get you there. There's lots of cards that you can do instead of Crater Hoof.
What's a Second Sunrise? Isn't that a white card?
No, it's a Second Sunrise? Glorious Sunrise? It's a green enchantment. Green 3 at the beginning of combat. You can draw a card or make one of your creatures tap for 3 or gain some life, or your creatures get +1/+1 and trample till end of turn.
Oh.
Very cool card.
Yeah. I mean, you could cut those 4 or 5 cards. I said this deck goes down to $340, and most of that's like in the mana base and a couple of the other like the rare cards.
Only printed once, commander only vampires.
Exactly, right? I think it's fine for a deck to cost that because
it's the world we live in.
You're going to have half of those if you've ever built a vampire deck anyways.
Yeah. Or you got a buddy who built a vampire deck that they don't play anymore. Trade him for his. Or
yes.
Them for theirs. There you go.
Spice calculator?
Spice calculator.
220 Dean of the Vein, Dean of the Root, because I don't remember their real names, lists on EDHREC.com. That puts them 35th among Golgari commandees.
Oh, that puts them right below Old Rust Stain and right above Sapling of the Coil Fenor.
Gross.
Yeah. And if you don't know what either of those cards do, that basically tells you everything you need to know about their current position in the rankings of the Golgari Commanders.
There you go. Yeah. So 331 average mana value.
And they're so low. They're so low on the list. I can see Sisters of Stone Death from here.
Whoa.
That's how you know you're low.
Wow. That's a gooder. Oh, man, I'm telling you. Average CMC 331. 29 different cards than the stock page on EDHREC.com. And let me tell you, there was a lot of affordable options and other things we could count as win cons, like aristocrat style stuff and other like mass pump effects that we're not playing here that would substitute for spending money.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Yes.
Which is cool. 1 tutor, number of win cons we said was 3. 3, but a high density 3.
Yes, we have a high density at the gain life, burn them out, and attack with dudes, and then ether flux. That's 3.
Yes, 3. Yes, very good. So you punch it all into the spice calculator. New spice calculator available at commandercookout.com. Yeah, there you go. You can go and download that, see how spicy your decks are. 67.3.
Nice.
Yeah, we're featuring our editors' decks over the last month, and they've gave us some spicy meatball.
Yeah, well, our editors and Chris Von Doom.
Yes. yeah. Well, about the whole Chris Von Doom guy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
Joe Mama, editor-in-chief for CCO. Thank you for the deck. If anybody wants to submit a deck, you can do so at commandercookout@gmail.com. If you're a Patreon supporter, you got the Discord access. There's a couple different deck building channels there. Jank ones, competitive ones, non-EDH ones. I never look at those ones, by the way.
I'm not in there ever. I forgot we had that channel.
Yes. And then we do have a preferred deck list tier. So check out the Patreon for that, including the new specific to Sidewalk Slam Patreon benefits, as those are getting populated and rolled out, like picking commanders for us and helping us tweak decks and stuff that we play. Oh. And super cool. I don't know how easy it's going to be to build whole decks that people want.
Why don't we just put up our rosters?
But we certainly have big time rosters that people will be able to choose from if they're interested in us or one of our friends' decks. Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit more on tomorrow's bonus show.
I got 24 decks.
Man, I got 24 inches of deck around. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a bonus show tomorrow, but what's your final thought of the day for today?
I think that this was a fantastic deck. It really did illustrate the I have a glaring weakness, a hole or vent that goes right to the reactor core, if you will. I think that's a Star Wars reference. Or a big flaming spot where you could drop my very important item and I'll just die. Also, glaring weakness.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a Lord of the Rings reference for Ryan. Also, glaring omission. How have we never called him CC Joe?
Oh!
We suck. Like, I'm firing both of us, but only...
This is it. Commander Cookout's over.
Yeah, that's the end of it, because we're obviously bad at our own game. We're bad at our own gimmick. But, Joe, thank you so much for sending in the deck. We really enjoyed it. We hope everybody listening did as well. I'm sure they did. If you want to build it yourself, head over to Official Business Daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs, and you can use CCO Spring to save 5% off all the shit that you're going to buy anyway. There's still lots of instances of CCO perks, too, if you're spending big money and want to get some of it back to buy more shit later on. And if you want to hear our thoughts on some more, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily secrets of EDH, but it's going to be some stuff that I think is going to make you think, and we're going to be back to talk about that on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!